everyone, Major Frenchie from MAMEinAbox.com. Today we're looking at Dof Config tool. We've seen in previous episodes how we set up one device in Dof. If you haven't seen this episode, I suggest you look at the led-wiz config. Today we're not talking about the configuration per se, we're talking about the different options found in Dof Config tool. Before we start, just a little caveat. This little tutorial, guys, is not going to be for connecting devices. We've seen how to connect devices in previous videos. If you feel a little bit lost while you're watching this, feel free to watch all our previous videos. This is a full series on how to build a pinball cabinet. You know, the learning curve is pretty steep, but the videos are out there for you to watch to understand how everything is connected. What we're going to start with is with My Account. Under My Account, you will find the different devices that are available to work with Dof in the pinball tables. All the different devices are listed on the left. Now we have the led-wiz, we have the pack drive, which is the equivalent of the led-wiz. We have the WS2811, which is the teensy board. We have the ArtNet, the Pack LED, we have the SaintSmart devices, the Pinscape devices. These are all controllers that you can use. We've covered some of these in our tutorials. Some of them we will cover in future episodes. So we have multiple devices we can use with Dof Config. All these devices, if you enable them, all you need to do is you need to put one in the column next to it and save your settings. The next tab that we're going to look at is the version history. This is all the people that are contributing to the updates or pushing new revisions for the different setup for the tables. Basically what that is, well, let me show you what that is. So for example, if I look at one table, let's just pick Cactus Canyon. If you look at Cactus Canyon, you can see that all the different history for the different tables, what is working, you can see everything that is actually programmed in the table. You can see that you have strobe bar, you have 5 LED configuration, and here is all the different options, the different effects for the different toys. I will not get into this because I don't know how it works. I'm going to learn. I mean, a lot of this is a learning curve through experiment, through testing. So next, we're going to talk about the port assignments. What I want to talk about is how this works. You have at the top the devices that you can configure. In this case, we're going to stick to the led-wiz, and if you see, there are 32 ports, which is matching the 32 ports of the led-wiz. Now, under each port, you can assign a different effect. So, I don't know if you remember when I've actually, in the previous episode, where I connected the strobe on port 9, well, you see right here that it was connected on the led-wiz on port 9, and then I had the strobe right here. So that's how the mapping is done, basically. Let's just go through the different effects and what everything does to give you a better idea of what that stuff all means. So the start button, the launch button, the fire, and the extra ball, all these, they're basically backlit buttons. And when it's time to start the game or fire or an extra ball, it will actually flash. So the way I would connect this is the power for the button would go to the positive of the power supply, and the negative of the button would go to port 1 on the led-wiz. That's how it's done. Then you set start button on port 1, and then you're set. Let's look at the 10. Now the 10 in front of the, so you see 10, there's 8, there's 5, and there's 3. So that's just a number of toys that you will have for each different categories. So these basically are for solenoids or contactors. So you got 10 of them. If you're using 10 of them, that's what you're going to use. So these are the different location for the bumpers. Let me just show you an image. So you can view on the image, that's the location of my contactors, which match the different titles in the ports. So you will select a different location: back left, back center, back right, middle left, middle center, middle right. All of these, one device per port. So you can only put one. So for example, port 2 would be back left, port 3, back center, and so on. You will see that in the diagram we have 10, and that's the name that you see on the picture will match the name that you see here. Now if we're looking at the other options, you can see we have slingshot left, slingshot right. These are the two side bumpers just above the flippers. We have flipper left, flipper right. So for example, if you have a contactor or a solenoid that you wish to assign to the flipper right or left, this is what you're going to select. Just say that you have your contactor connected to port number, let's use port 3. Let's say that's your left flipper that you connect to this. Then you will just put left flipper or flipper left to port 3. And if left flipper is hit, the solenoid will start activate, or the contactor will activate. What else we have? We have the right here, the 8 bumper left. This is just if you decide to put 8 contactors or solenoids instead of 10. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it includes all the slingshots and the flippers. So that's if you decide to go with 8, this is the options that you're going to pick. The knocker, well, the knocker is what makes the big loud knock when you win a free game at the end. The shaker motor, or we haven't done the video on that yet, but we do have a shaker motor on our table. And what it does is when a certain action is triggered in the table, for example in Jurassic Park, when the dinosaur picks up the ball, well, the table shakes and it adds extra effect to the table. If you actually, just quickly, if you wish to find out, is it worth it to install a toy, there's a good option here in the stats tab. Let's say you want to pick, well, we were just talking about the shaker motor. If you select the shaker motor in the stats, you're going to see right here, it'll tell you how many tables are taking advantage of that toy. So I would say that 233, that's a lot of tables, and you will get a lot out of that shaker. So that's probably a very good toy to add. And let's look at the gear motor. Gear motor is over 200 tables, and strobe is probably going to be very high, right? So strobes are kind of a must. The 5 flashers, that's a lot. And anyway, go through the list and then find out, if it's worth putting a toy or not. So then we, what we have is we have a gear, the gear motor. We have one. We haven't released a video yet, but the gear motor is automatic window motor that will get triggered when something moves in the table. It creates that noise, that gear noise, which is really nice. Beacon, the beacon is what goes on the top. It spins 360 degrees. The fan is, we have one too. We're going to do a full video on that. It's basically, it blows air. So what we have an inline fan, a 24 volt inline fan that pushes air in our face when something gets triggered in a table. Here we have the strobe, the 5 outside, left and center and right and so on. This is for your flash bar. we have actually a video coming up too in the next couple of weeks where we're going to show you how to build your own, which is kind of neat. So basically what that is, it's 5 lights, RGB. They're red, green, and blue, and they're usually at the front or under the glass, and it gets triggered and it adds a lot of good effects to your table. The 3 flashers, left, right, and center, this is probably just RGB. If you have one left in the center and right of your table, you have 3 kind of lights. That's what you would use. That's my best guess. I've never used it, so there's a good reference. If you go to the Swiss Lizards guide, if you get any technical questions about the different setup for the options, it's all listed in here. If you need more description or help about the configuration or what it means, you can find that in his guide, and again, it will be in the description below for your convenience. What else do we have? We have some RGB here. We have, for example, under cab. You can add lights under your cabinet. Now you have Smart, Complex, or Complex MX. The difference is Smart will just be one color per table pretty much, and it will change each time you change a table. The Complex, you'll have a light show under your cab. So I mean, I think that's a good one to put. That's the one we're going to use. Again, we're going to have a video on how to set up your under cab lights. We just haven't gotten to this yet. The one below, the Complex, this is the same thing, except when you see MX in all of these here, it means it's addressable LED. The addressable LED, again, we will have a full guide on addressable LED. It hasn't been released yet. It's going to be sometimes in June, but this will basically allow each light to be lit like separately. If you actually have done that, leave a comment below and give your impression as to whether or not it's worth it. I think it'll be a good reference for people if they decide to go with this option or not. And then again here, all these here, they're all the MX or the PF, they are addressable LED. These, like the left flasher, the left effect, the back flasher, back effect, usually these are used in the dot matrix. And don't worry, we're going to cover that once we do the addressable LED section. We're building a dot matrix, and then we're going to show you how to program it. But this is basically what that is. The strobe, again, the strobe is the strobe that will be enabled on the dot matrix. Right flasher, these are for the strips. So I use those for my side strips. What I do is I create a combo, which I'm going to show you after. The combo, I use left flasher and left effect. So you'll see right here. So PF left flasher and left effects goes for the strip. It's just going to be combined, so both of them are going to be used in the effects for our left strip. The PF left flasher and the PF left effects, we use those in a combo for our left strip. Same thing with the back or the right flasher and the right effects. We use them for the right strip on the edge of our monitor. So that's the two, and we create a combo. I'm going to show you after how to create a combo. But if you want, we also have in our led-wiz video, we're showing you how to create a combo. Then we have a flipper button. These I never use. Magna Save, these I don't use. Coin, I use coin, so I have my coin button that lights up when it's time to insert coin. Exit I don't really use. Some people put the exit. Mine's always lit, so I know which one to press when it's time to exit. And these are just different custom that you can create for your table. Here we have some bells, some chime. We're going to cover that. We're actually building a chime right now, and we're going to show you how to use this. Also, we have the combo number 1, 2, and 3. Let's just jump to it right now and show you what these are. The combine toys typically is to, well, it says it's to combine toys. Okay, let's say we have RGB light connected on port 7. Let's just use it's port 7 on the led-wiz. Okay, red, green, and blue. The red's going to use one port, the green is going to use one port, and the blue is going to use one port. So you got 3 ports taken right off the bat on the led-wiz. So let's say we have an RGB light connected on port 7 on the led-wiz. We're just using that as an example. So the RGB, we're going to create a toy because what we want is we want more action than just a light when that gets triggered. So RGB, which is an LED light, okay, which is 3 colors. And what we're going to do is we're going to assign it to 3 flasher left. So that's the left light, okay? But what we want is when that gets triggered, we want the, let's say, we want the undercab also to get triggered. So we click here. So every time, actually, let's just save that combo. We're going to click add right here. So see right here, now it's combo number 4, which is linked to this. So you got to remember your combos for sure. So now if I go back in port assignments, just clear the fields. So remember I said, for example, it was port 7. That's on my led-wiz. That's where that LED is connected. I will just pick 3 flasher left right here. See, it uses 3 ports. But we're going to pick combo 4. So now port 7 uses combo 4. Every time that the action gets triggered and the LED lights up, it will also start the under cab lights. So that's how you create combos. So the next thing we want to show you is the different options. Well, we've never really used it. It is possible to set the shaker motor, the intensity, and the maximum, so you can reduce the intensity. The fan, same thing. If you have a fan, you can reduce the intensity of the fan. You can set the brightness to a lower value, so it is not as bright for the strobe and the flasher and the strip, LED strip flasher as well. And these are for the targets, how long they stay lit. That's a choice that you have. Below is the LED strip variable. This is all for addressable LED. So if you do not have addressable LED, don't worry about this. If you do have addressable LEDs in the dot matrix, that's where that stuff's going to come handy. Now, the first couple of values here, I never touched. If you need to find out about the values, look in the guide right here. And if you look at AH, you can see in the general matrix parameters, it tells you what these are. So the first line here, you see the strobe, the color. You can pick whatever color you want. And this is going to be set for the left strobe on the dot matrix. And on the right, it's the shape. So you can have different shapes, colors, crusts. You can have squares. Play with that. And then you'll see that you'll get different effects. It's kind of actually amusing to test different effects within the table. And below you got the flasher, the left, and then the center, the right. These are the 5 LED flashers. So you're going to have, for example, we have that set for a smiley, and all 5 of them will actually appear as a smiley. But again, you can change it to a cross or a square or something else. So Dof Config is very complex, but also very fun to set up because you get amazing effects like this. Now this is a back matrix that we've set up with the Teensy, and it's going to come up in the upcoming episode, and then we're going to show you how to program this. But the back end It's all DOF stuff, and we actually really like this. So thank you for watching, guys. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, I invite you to click the subscribe button. Also click that notification bell, and you will get an email notification every time we upload a new video. Thank you all for your donation. We have a donation button on our website. Every donation is much appreciated. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around.